Well, okay then. Apparently the intro decided it's not doing its thing tonight. It said
Well,
no.
throw it on there.
Well, I'm not. I'm just gonna. I don't know what to do now.
Watch this. It probably won't do it, but we'll see.
You know, I hit play intro, go live play intro, and it said nah. And the team over in the live chat was just staring at an empty. Was I adding you and then you were removing yourself and then were we double clicking it?
We were adding and adding, which turned into an add and remove. There you go. Now we're straightened out. See?
A couple of fucking noobs. What is going? Do you feel better now?
I feel better now. You know, we're only on episode 180. We'll figure it out one of these days.
Holy fuck, man. Oh, amateur hour over here. That said, Fletcher was actually popping in. What was it? 11:57 a.m. with an anybody here and left with dead silence. Poor guy.
And hold up, it's not Fletcher. It's Felcher T Sandwich, which is a
what do I know? What do I know?
Acidine, what up, Breezy Brickyard? Folklore is here. Folklore's been here all 180 episodes. Brilliant Demon Michael, what's up, dude? 8-Bit Mike. Eric Folkerts, what's up, dude? Hobo Toys, got some stuff tabbed for you up tonight. Hence, my man, what's going on, dude? Recycle Galaxy, Kentucky in the house. Jazz Wiz, Kentucky in the house. Neckwrath, not Kentucky in the house. Yo-Yo Dine, Toy Division, Canada, represented very well. Suki, what's up, man? Puzzled Panther. The Barbarian Rage, Scott Cherry has made his way. Paul D, what's going on? Abaddon 40, probably chilling with Michael, what's up? And Bliss, tuning in from across the pond. What's up, everybody? You got a great episode tonight, man. We're going to get Dove in here pretty soon, man. And looks like we are probably, I'm thinking we're the last ones on this show tour that he's been doing for the last couple of weeks, spreading the good word.
Doing their due diligence, man. That's what I was actually saying to you. Like, if anything, they're putting in that legwork, homie.
Dude, totally right. And it's dude, 20th year. I did not realize that it's the 20th year, right? So, but I did see Epoch when he posted something today or maybe yesterday, and he mentioned when it was in, I thought he said Pasadena. Or Pomona or one of those places, but it was apparently at a different location before. It was in Anaheim, which I wasn't aware of because I wasn't going to it back then. So leave me hanging.
I don't know. We were kind of talking about before this. You missed it just because you mentioned Scott sharing the old Barbarian Rage here. I think we need pictures now of these mutton chops. You wouldn't have seen it, I don't think, but they were discussing how they used to be rocking these fat ass mutton chops. And I think we need pictures, to be honest with you. That came up in the recent episode that they did two or 3 days ago now on the DKETOYS YouTube channel.
Yes. Nice. I did not see those, man. I have not caught that episode yet. Stormco, what's up, dude?
I feel like I'm like a brain dead fool sometimes. That's Double G that's on there as well, right? Janky, Double G, Barb, and then Dove.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I missed that first part, but then I realized that you were talking about, Pasadena there, Paul says, saying Dove's first rodeo. Yeah, you got that right. For his second.
Yeah, 20 years. I couldn't even imagine how much the landscape has changed, man.
Yeah, dude, I think there was, it's cool to read some of those stories that when they talk about, actually, I was watching a video with the guy who runs Decon, and he was talking about just some of the local artists that were there when it first started off 20 years ago. And it sounds like it really did start off as more of just like a local small show. And now it's grown into, damn, dude, like, I don't know how many vendors there. Dove will probably tell us, but I mean, over 500 easy, right? It's just, it's insane, man. And to go from, you know, we're not just talking about, you know, figures or vinyl or prints. I mean, everything under the sun is in those places. So um, I bet pre-social media decon used to get wild. Yeah, dude, good point. Good point. Before social media, that would be interesting, man. An interesting conversation about just like the dynamic with marketing and kind of spreading the word before that happened. Like, how was it done? You know, billboards.
Well, I bet when Facebook was first popping, like, let's be real, that was probably a huge driving
Mm,
force.
Facebook. Yeah, yeah. I didn't think about that. God, 20 years ago already.
So that, I was thinking the same thing, man. I don't know if B was just putting a bunch of baby lotion on that earlier, or if he got a little
Not
too
at all, bro. No lotion today. It's just, you know what it is? It's my computer, man. And I don't look like I'm in an aquarium tonight.
You know what it probably is your webcam isn't trying to pick up 5,000 different toys behind you, some glow, some UV, some, and then your toys mixed in that. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you're probably right. And I think, you know, I think I was, well, we kind of troubleshooting it, all the like pausing problems last week. And I was telling my son about it. And he broke the whole thing down to me, the bandwidth and your screen and my screen. I'm just like, all right, that makes sense. I guess I'm not using your computer anymore. And he's like, yeah, why are you using that anyway? It's super old. So I got my computer out, which I thought at the time was not working, but it turns out that it may have just been an internet problem with this computer. So in San Diego, took the computer with me. It's working great so far. Different temp lighting. Yeah. Could be.
So what do you say? We've got Master Dovchon below there. Do we pull them in? You ready to get this all kicked off for the folks in the chat
I
room?
don't know. How are you doing? Let's talk about you first. What's going on with you?
We're gonna do this. You kidding me? I'm good, man. Always good, dude. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm down in San Diego,
Good.
like I said, for a few days, just doing lots of math, which is really not the funnest thing to be doing, but you know, moving right along, dude. You know how it is. Yeah, that's it. Can't complain about San Diego. I mean, you can, but there's not a whole lot to complain about here. Jazz. Oh, man.
Take on this year?
I am not going to decon this year. No.
No, eh?
No, I have. So yeah, dude. So like, you know, both the kids are going to be home for Thanksgiving this year, starting soon, and so it's just a crazy time, man. I would like to go. It's great, dude. It's an awesome event. But I'm glad we got Dove here to talk about it. But yeah, man, and you know, there's so much going on, just like right around the corner, dude. We got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas, we got Asheville, North Carolina in February. We got Toronto in what is it, May? So
It never stops, dude. Because it's so global, there's always something. There's always something.
it seems like it, you know, and that's interesting because when Dove was on these other shows, and we'll talk to him about it, that some of these shows, dude, like I was not familiar with some of those shows, but you know, they're out there, which is cool. The more the better.
Oh, you don't say. I was creeping their wall of toys behind them when I was watching the DKETOYS YouTube video earlier. Definitely a different roster of things than I would have expected, I think, man. But holy fuck, what a collection of stuff. Art.
Oh man, it's
a better way
yeah.
of putting it. But yeah, man, absolutely. And you can always tell like the things that I love, like man, the Ronald McDonald shelf they have, it's hard not to kind of be like, oh, how do you not? You know what I mean? That's a banger.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I was thinking of when I was the last time that we had him on here. I think we might have even talked about those a little bit. Scott says Collecticon is LA is April as well. That is cool. All right. Going to Toronto, I don't know, man. You know, I was just making a joke about my passport. I'm on my second passport now because they're only good for 10 years. Still never left the country. So, you know, I don't know if I want to break that streak or just kind of continue with it on. But Toronto would be amazing, man. That's going to be something else.
Just make sure it's summer.
You'll be there.
I will be, yes. I do live here. Yeah. That is a thing.
That is a
Yeah.
thing. Dude, Blue Jays almost had it, bro.
Oh, get out of here.
Almost had it. I know you could care less, but I'll tell you what, man. That was one of the best series that I've seen in my 46 years on this earth, dude. That was amazing. They came literally within inches of an inch of taking it.
Dude, down like Toronto is just a mess, my dog. Like I don't even know how to put it, dude. Like there was so much happening in those 2 days, right? Between those baseball games happening, there's like the largest freaking Halloween party in Canada happens down in like the village and stuff. You've got roads blocked off. It's just a mess of people. And then of course, like they didn't extend subways or trains or anything like that. So just like a mess of human beings, all no real way to get home and just crammed in like the downtown of Toronto. It was just a mess, man.
Yeah, I can imagine, dude. I can imagine with everything going on in the World Series on top of that, dude. That's nuts. Neckrath, we're on 180. That's a good point, man. Why not a 200th episode show? 20 weeks ahead would be good enough time to start creating. Yeah, that may be something. Yo-Yo Dine says everybody go to Toronto for the show. Yeah, please do, man. Sadat, that may be a thing, man. I'm coming for you, brother. So yeah, we could probably bring Dove in there now. He's looking kind of annoyed, so I'm sure.
I would be.
Look at him smiling.
Right?
Okay.
You good, homie?
I'm good.
What's up, Dove? How are you?
What's going on? What's that bullshit saying that I'm annoyed? Don't tell me how I feel.
Well, I see you doing this. You're shaking your head there. I'm just kidding, man.
I'm just participating,
You are
saying hi. How you guys been?
Great, dude. How are you?
Great. I haven't seen you guys officially in, I think it's been a year.
Has it been a year?
It probably has been, yeah.
Has it? I think it's also been a year of drama-free Toys Alive as well.
Hey!
Was this the smoothest year of Toys Alive?
What'd you think?
Oh, you had to think about that. It wasn't like a fuck yeah. It was.
Well,
it's like, oh.
You know what, man? Every year is a smooth year, right? Anytime that you can hang out with this group once a week, there's hard to find something wrong. We always do, but it's I don't know, man. I don't know if it's getting easier. I think the more the more thought we put into it, the more convoluted it gets. And at the end of the day, man, you know how it is. It's like it may be more of a passive thing for us than it is for you. But it's just, you try to have these great big ideas of where you want the show to go and what you want to do with it. And then you just go, I don't know, well, do I have time for that? Maybe.
I think the beauty of your show is like your consistency. I mean, you've accomplished something that most people, with a few bumps in the road, but really like you guys are just on all the time. People know when you're there. They log in, and I think that's how to maintain an audience.
When we first started the show, I think one of the things that we both agreed on that I think the community was missing at the time was exactly what you said, man, just consistency. And it's hard to find somebody who wants to do this every week. And I think that Crumbs and I both love that about each other, is the dedication that we have from week to week, to where it's not really a big thing to come on here. And it doesn't seem like it's something that we really have to stretch ourselves to do to come on the show. And then next thing you know, dude, like almost 4 years later, here we are.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, thank you, dude. So let's talk about you, shall we?
Okay. I love to talk about me.
Decon 20 years, dude.
Decon 20 years. Yes. Again, a lot of different iterations, a lot of movement, a lot of growing pains. But yeah, it's going to be 20 years, and it's still, Ben's not here and hopefully not listening, but yeah, still growing pains, going to first it was like Vinyl Toy Network. It was, Ben was partners with Weedy Wheat, and it was a little show. And then it went to Pasadena, and it was like upstairs in like those little rooms, or, just very early on. And then it just sort of grew and grew until it took over all of Pasadena, until there was a line around the block, and the fire marshal wouldn't let people in, and they had to go into like other buildings. And then anytime you have to go into other buildings, and you have to create like all this like signage, right? Like, walk through here because there's more stuff over there. But no matter what you do, no matter how many people are in there, how great a show it was, the people in that room feel slighted. They're like, yeah, show sucked because, no one came in here. Like, so then they jumped to Anaheim, and that was like some growing pains, and that pandemic caused problems, and then that was just grew to like out of control. And I, hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but the city of Anaheim just wasn't, I think 2 years ago the show was in December.
Yes, it was right before Christmas, dude. That was the worst.
Right. And that was because, from what I understand, the city of Anaheim really only cares about the room tax on hotel rooms. And because most of the people who go to that show are local, I'm just making up a number. Let's say they only commit to 100 hotel rooms. But if a dental convention comes in and wants 2,000 rooms, because dentists are flying in from all over the world to be at that show, the city makes more money. And so they're like, oh, we're not going to give you your date, even though DesignerCon was the only show the year before. What year was that? So in 2022, it was the only show in there, because everything was pandemic. And they're like, fuck it, it's the end of the year, it's 2022, we're doing a show. And they did a show, and, it wasn't a super spreader event, and everyone had fun. And he said that the city of Anaheim was like his best friend. They would like, yeah, you're awesome. And then next year it's like, oh, some dentists here. Yeah, screw you and your dates. And so he just moved to Vegas, where he can have what he wants when he wants it. And he moved to Vegas. So Vegas it is.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. So are you trying to suggest that the dental community is larger than the indie toy community?
I was just giving an example, not necessarily, but there's more individuals getting hotel rooms. That's all I'm saying.
There you go. That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense.
That is, sorry to interrupt you. That is the sort of the. I know other people who do conventions in Pasadena, and that's also run by the city. And the city has like a mandate, like we can make more money, we make more money in their contract. Even up to several weeks before the show, I was told, like, they can back out. Like, if you're not taking the whole thing, and you have one room and you've been promoting for months, like, we're having, Joe's horror convention or our baseball card show, and then someone comes in and says, oh, we want the whole thing, they'll bump you. Can you imagine how much time and effort you put into like planning something, and then have the city bump you because you're just small potatoes? You only take one ballroom, and someone else, they're not gonna. They want to rent the whole thing, and they don't. They don't care about you. It doesn't sound like a personal thing. It sounds to me, from what I've been told, that you're dealing with someone different every time. And they just have sort of like some fiduciary duty, like, we need to make money for the city. This is our asset. This is what we do. And there's no like, oh, you're here every day. There's no like loyalty kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, so then it was Vegas, and I'm sure this year will be better than last year, but I'll give it another year or two, and then it's gonna be sort of like Anaheim, like on steroids. So it just takes time. There's a lot of people who don't want to travel. They just need to see the images online, and they have FOMO. They're like, oh, I need to be there. And like, they have no trouble selling booths. The booths are sold out.
Nice. You know what, man? It definitely had the decon feel. You know what I mean? When I was there last year, it felt like, if you didn't know any better and someone dropped you in the middle of the room, you would think that
Yeah,
you might have been in Anaheim, just because it had that same type of feel to it.
yeah. I mean, all the retailers were there. And remember, last year, Complex Con booked their show the same weekend as DCon. And now I think Complex Con was 2 weeks ago. So
nice. Complex Con. I don't know if I've even seen, I don't know what that is. What is that?
kind of they describe Complex Con. It's sort of like one of those hype kind of shows, sneakers. Complex is a huge company, sort of like sneaker culture, hip hop. They have concerts and there's some art toys, not a lot. It's more like apparel. I don't know if I'm describing it. You can go to complexcon.com and check it out, but it's a slightly different crowd, but
Yeah.
it's not, it still takes away a little bit. And so hopefully now there's anyone who wanted to go to both can now go to both.
Nice. So what you got, man?
What we got? So we got some exclusives to show you. So every year when we do Decon, we come on the show and we show you all the exclusives that we have. Everything we have are made by artists who make exclusive runs of stuff specifically for us. We do put everything on sale on the website before the show because we started doing that in pandemic and just have continued to do that because we don't feel that we sort of built up a client base that's all over the world and not everyone's actually going to the show. So everything I'm showing you today goes on sale Friday, November 7th at noon Pacific, DKETOYS.com. So you go there, everything's on sale. If we have extras, then we take it to the show the next week. So but do keep in mind we do start shipping the Monday we get back. So I think that's like the 14th, 17th.
The Monday you get back from Decon. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. So everything's sort of a pre-order. And the other note is that if you order multiple times, we do make our best effort to combine and refund shipping. So like today we posted over 100 like older pieces that we got in a collection. I posted a video on Instagram. So if you order that stuff and you just let us know, we'll wait till you order the stuff on Friday. We'll combine it and send you shipping money back. So
there you go.
There you go. All right. So moving down the list here. Okay. So the first figure is called Elon Husk right here. This is by Twin Fang Toys, which is Sadat. This is his new brand.
Okay, wait a minute. Time out. I did not know that, Sadat.
So there you go. This is I don't know if it's a rebrand. I mean, is he in the room? I assume he's going to continue to make toys under King Spider, but this figure is, I mean, if you can see it, it's like a big bird vulture. You can see the Capitol building there.
Yeah, nice. I think he said, or I read in the post that Magoo did his logo for him.
Well,
I did not know that was Sadat.
There you go. Look at all the crazy Twitter birds.
Yeah, that backer art is insane.
Great piece of art. If he's in the chat, if you it says card art by Cam Hayden. There we go. So shout out to Cam Hayden for fantastic piece of art here. Most of the figures we're going to show you are 3 3/4 inch scale. This is an edition of 10, and it's $70.
Nice.
I think these are going to go fast. I do always enjoy political commentary in my toys. This next one here is by Joshua's Toy Box and Dead Greedy. And this is just, creativity abounds here. And the thing about a lot of artists who release stuff individually, Sometimes when you put them in an environment, and you've seen this when you guys like go over like art shows and there's themed art shows, is when people feel there's a little competition, they really step up. And so I kind of feel like now that DCon's just once a year, although we will have more shows next year, and you guys said you want to talk about that, so we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But so this one's called Loctula Full of Crummies. And we'll turn this guy over.
Is that
a brilliant piece?
So he used a little sippy cup that he found at a, I don't know, 99-cent store on Valentine's Day. So you can see where but he cast these pieces and sort of molded them to the cap there. And then inside all these little guys, you get a button. And then
crumbs.
Yeah, it's fun.
You get a
Full
barrel
of crummies.
Oh, dude, hooking them up like the old school
barrel of monkeys.
There you go.
Paul D was asking, are you doing a live on All Day Friday as well?
Yes, starting at 11:30 on Friday. We will have a quick 15 starting at 11:30. Everything goes live for sale at noon, and starting at noon, we will have, and we're going to go for about 5 hours. It's like a 15-minute interview with 20 artists, so should be lots of fun. And my ass will hurt because
yeah, that'll be a long one.
Yeah, it's back to like pandemic days. So this comes in 4 different colors. This is the yellow one. There's a pink, a blue, and a one-of-a-kind black one. You unscrew your Loctula, which is HATTPPPPPY for vault, just in case you were wondering. To reveal the enclosed crummies, each Loctula comes with 4 color crummies and a matching container, and the 5th brass one. And so when you're playing, you're supposed to get the 4, and then you do the last one to complete your chain.
That's fun.
Brass monkey, indeed. These babies are $85. It's an edition of 10.
Nice. Joshua's Toy Box and Dead Greedy on that one, huh?
Yeah, and signed by both of them on the side here. So lots of fun. So if you guys remember, we had a toy for the first time from a guy in Turkey named Quayar. It's spelled Kojar, K-O-J-R, but it's pronounced Quayar. And last year he had this, figure that was creepy as hell and sold out. This one is called a Telegimpy. And you can see the little Telegimpy right there. It's got a nice little penis and balls right there on the top. It's what everybody needs. This is 3.75-inch printed resin on a hand-stained laser cut wood backer.
Nice, man. Oh yeah, when you held it to you can see the depth in that card. That's smooth, man. I like that.
And if you look at how clean this figure is,
I mean, fucking zipper.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's really like fantastic. He signed him on the back.
And where's he from?
He's from Turkey.
From Turkey.
That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, just really home run. I think this one will sell out too. Small edition, 10 pieces, $65. And then this piece is from an artist that's the first time with us called Canary Customs, and this one is called Fools.
Yeah, man, I was looking at that one online the other day.
And there's how should I say that most of the artists that we work with will use a pop culture reference. A lot of Star Wars, a lot of stuff like that. It's an easy it's a pun or whatever it is. It's something that sort of draws you in, and a lot of people collect Star Wars, so it's sort of natural. One of my favorite pieces, or the favorite type of pieces that we sell, is when someone is just making a figure that's just making a statement. And there's really no pop culture commentary. It's sort of like when Healy does, those blob figures. Like he'll make Star Wars wrestlers, right? But then every once in a while there's a figure that's just something completely out of his imagination. And um I'll say honestly that they don't sell the best, but I'm always happy to carry them, and just as a medium of expression, like I think if we view this, if this is art and this is a valid form of expression, then having this like full spectrum of stuff available, like you have some mainstream stuff and then you have some really personal work. And these are sort of like, these are my favorite pieces because it really shows the depth of the medium. He's got an artist statement here. A lot of reading this episode. I'm sorry. So Canary's Customs, his name is John Guarneri. Much of John's artwork revolves around or is inspired by hero stories, whether that takes religious, pop culture, or everyday meanings. A large element of the iconography of a hero is their mask. Fools deconstructs masks to their most basic form, eye, nose, and mouth holes, and positions these features on ordinary individual. The juxtaposition of the hero's face and the average fool create the narrative that the mundane can be far greater than we imagine. So, it's just sort of like worked in like hero mythology. And then the guys figured out the other day that that's wingdings there for fools. Not sure if that's a selling point, but you get the idea. And it's $45. It's an addition of 20.
Nice. How much did you say? 45?
45.
Damn,
that's nothing.
Yeah. All right. And the next one, we have 3 pieces from 1980 Who. And if you remember, 1980 Who has been known for doing laser cut wood. This year decided to do this one called Star WTF.
Yeah. Now, their work in the past, what I've seen, you're right, laser cut, but it's like all that are like pieces that are laid on top of each other. Is that
Correct.
how that one is too, or is that
no? This is a straight up
wood piece?
What does it say? It's a hand painted 3D printed plastic with metal details. Ian, can you grab me the loose one that's there? And the back is really funny. I don't know if you can read it, but I will read it to you. It says episode 11, a new toy. It's a period of unemployment. An aging nerd working from his hidden garage base has built another action figure that, quote, borrows themes from his favorite sci-fi adventure film. During the build process, self-doubt managed to steal momentum from an already challenging delivery schedule, which seemed arbitrary and unrealistic, and it just totally tails off at the bottom.
Puzzle Panther says the boombox. Yeah, that's the one that came to mind. And then
he did the boombox, correct?
Yeah. Wasn't there a Boba Fett too?
Yes. He's done a Boba Fett, a Vader, a Tusken Raider, a Chewbacca, all out of wood. Here's a close-up of the actual figure. You can see the metal parts. Really fantastic piece. Edition of 10, these are 125. And then did this crazy monster piece. This one is Raiders of the Intellectual Property, False Idol by 1980 Who here. So it's a 3D printed plastic 8-inch figure. So I don't know if you can see the scale here.
Even the head on the blister is fucking
hilarious.
I mean, he handmade this blister.
Oh, jeez.
Right? So he had to make a buck and, pull this himself. Did a great job. I mean,
that's clean.
Yeah, it is. It's really nice.
Really clean, dude.
And then check that out.
Damn, edition of 5 too.
This is signing number edition 5, $225. I just, think he nailed this one.
Great. Yeah, that's fun.
All right. So not to be, everyone's always pulling out the stops. So I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna grab it.
Hey, you know what? Before you do that, Crumbs,
yes.
Put us all on the screen real quick, please. Okay, so let's talk about this giveaway real quick, just because this is the first time we've done it this way, and we forgot to talk about that at the beginning. So typically what we do, we send out a post on Tuesday, and then we have you guys answer the question, and then we do the giveaway the next day. So what we're gonna try is StreamYard has a built-in basically giveaway system. So Crumbs will run a banner up on at the bottom of the screen too. When he does that, you guys have till probably the end of the show to put whatever enter. Yeah, see, so all you guys have to do is just enter hashtag DCon25 in the comments. That will automatically put you in the drawing for the 5-figure set from Ron English, which Doug will talk about right
here.
now.
They are. It's an edition of 20. It's all 5 of the Ron English figures that we released with him in gold. It's a matching number set. They're all number 10 out of 20. It's a $500 value. It's almost sold out. Out of the 20, I think there's 5 sets left on our site. Yeah, $500 value. So do what he said.
$500 value. That's probably that's got to be up there with one of the most expensive one. Not that the money matters, but holy smokes, dude, thank you for donating that one.
Quite
All
welcome.
you got to do, hashtag DCon25 in the comments at any time, and that will put you in the drawing at the end of the show. The computer will randomly choose your name.
And we will cover shipping in the continental US.
There you go.
So if you are overseas, then you might be on the hook for some shipping. Okay, so 1980 Who, usually working in plywood, right?
Yes.
So we didn't have this in time to show on any other show. So this is a Toys Alive exclusive.
That's insane.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
This is
insane.
I'm gonna show it sideways. It weighs like 17 pounds.
Wow.
It is the same process he uses, just larger pieces of plywood. You can see the gun and everything. So from the side, you know, kind of doesn't look like much, and then you turn it around and it's like boom. I'm gonna turn it over. You can see the metal parts here. So he made a one-off. This one will be at the show. It says 1 of 1 Designer Con.
Wow.
And so we'll have this at the booth, but actually on Friday at noon, we release an edition of 5. Ugh, I'm trying not to knock over the camera, look like an idiot here, but it's a little under 3,000. It's $29.95. It's an edition of 5. It took him over 100 hours to make this.
To make one of them?
To make one of them, yes.
I'm only a beginner. Dude, even with like a laser like cutter and that, like so much sanding and like all the layers and individual pieces and the painting, and that thing is insane.
It's crazy. And you know, part of his process is he paints, if I remember correctly, he paints the wood before he laser cuts it. So that way, because if he laser cut it, and then all the burn marks would get painted off, right? So he paints it first, so you get all of that sort of like lasered edge wear on the sides. Really, I don't know. This is the craziest piece I think we've had some one-of-a-kind stuff in the past, but like as an addition for the amount of time, and I mean, it's 32 inches, I think, to the top of the piece here. And you know, if this, I've encouraged him to, you know, make the next step, and told him I'd make some calls to try and get a gallery show. It's really what I think is his next. You know, he's doing conventions, he does some online stuff, but I think if he's making this kind of caliber of piece and he can make 5 or 10 and some other smaller pieces, that it could really sustain an art show. And you know, what he was talking about is like in this time of like AI, and when people don't know if the art is real or if, you know, some algorithm created it, it's like it's just going. And that's what I love about this medium, is like everyone's making everything by hand. And some people use AI, and that's fine, and not, you know, arguing for it or against it. It's fine, but having something that's just made out of wood, and it's just a physical piece, you look at this thing and it's just like, whoa, there's my Boba Fett.
Nostalgia, what's up, man? It says that he said it's also just a great display piece at the booth, man. I agree with that too. But yeah, dude, having something tangible, not something, it's just it's the feel that you get, right? But then it's also like the scale of it is just ridiculously big. But you're right, dude. I think it's it's one of those things we always talk about too when people make books or zines and just have content from the scene in there, and it's something, it's different, and it's different because it's just got that kind of tangible feel to it. It's something besides digital. But man, what a killer piece, dude. You said 500 hours per piece, and it's addition of 5. Dude, the math on that is just stupid what you have to put into it every day.
No, 100 hours, and he's making 5. So
100 hours.
Well, if we sell the other 5, he's going to have to put in. I think each one will take a little bit less. 100 hours for the first one, but if he can make 5 at the same time, I think he cuts it down 80 hours. Or you know what I mean? It's just it's layer and layer.
Right.
He said that some things about this were easier because when he's laser cutting those little pieces, like, and putting together a Chewbacca figure, like he's got to like glue and make everything fit together. And he said this was sort of even though it takes a lot of time, this was a luxury because he could actually use a drill. He could put a screw in there. He could put, it's like, building with something big.
Yeah.
So,
Sir Collectible Miles, what's up, dude?
The next piece here is all the way from the Philippines. Allowed Space Lab made Street Froggy. Just what everyone needs in their life.
From the Philippines, huh?
Yeah. Signed and numbered out of 15. And the crazy thing about Allowed Space Lab, if you follow him on Instagram and you look in his bio, he's got another sort of persona. I mean, he's a 2D artist and has shown in galleries, all over the world. Most recently, like I think here in Los Angeles, and he just likes to make figures on the side, like when not painting masterworks. This edition of 15, it's $45.
Nice.
Really
I think that's the first piece that I saw from that came out this year. What you know anything about Camelbot Commander?
I don't.
Bro, Camelbot Commander, he is a phenomenal artist. He goes by the name Mr. Jago, Jago. But Camelbot Commander is his toy account, and he started making figures, and he uses pieces of chipped paint off his paintings in his figure. Incredible, dude. Right up your alley. Incredible pieces, dude. I have quite a few, and they're amazing, man. He's been posting stuff recently that it's either not for sale yet, or I don't know if it will be for sale. But Crumbs, I know you've seen it, dude. But the shit that he's been putting out recently,
sounds amazing.
It is, dude. It's amazing. I'll send you some stuff.
I'm making a note right now. Tell me the name again.
Camobot Commander, Camobot Commander.
Camobot Commander. I'm pretty sure that we used to distribute his vinyl toys. Does that sound right, Ian? Camobot Commander, Mr. Jago?
Yeah, Mr. Jago is his paint name. And
just Google it. I think he's made vinyl toys in the past. Am I right?
I don't think so, man. I think the resin was his first dip into it. I think. I could be wrong.
Camobot? I don't know. Cool. I'm going to check it out. That sounds awesome.
Dope.
And then the next one is from Plastic Vomit.
Bliss says he has.
Nice. And here is this figure from Plastic Vomit. Now, Plastic Vomit is, I'm sure you're familiar. They're usually making one-offs. And I'm usually like the dude who's, sending them messages on Instagram being like, oh, sorry, I missed it. Can you make me one, please? And they're like, yeah, whatever. And I'm pretty sure that I bought one of these guys. It's a Boba Fett Snake Eyes mashup. I don't know, a year ago, longer. And I was like, hey guys, like this would make a great figure. And I don't believe they've ever done a carded figure before. So very excited to have this. And Plastic Vomit is a collaboration between husband and wife, Jason and Nicole Groves. All the proceeds of this are going to the Children's Miracle Network. Now, this blister here, he did with Ad Funcher. Yeah, Mr. Jago. Okay, I totally remember that. So he has done vinyl toys before. And did ring a bell.
That's crazy. It's crazy that you remember that.
So anyone who makes toys, you should know that if you ever want to buy blisters, we manufacture a whole bunch of blisters, and you can check those out at dketoys.com/blisters. And we also have a sample pack of blisters that we will send you for $5. But one of the last blisters we made was this clamshell. And I'll say that Plastic Vomit has utilized this clamshell better than anyone else, because when you open the clamshell, it's got a cavity for the figure in there, but they did a double-sided card, so you could go for the G.I. Joe card.
Oh, nice. Oh, dude, you're right. That is, what is it, Crumbs? It's smart, right? That is
Fucking
just
smart, bro.
really taking it to the next level, like looking at the medium, looking at the tools you have, and it's like, oh, I have a mashup between Boba Fett and Snake Eyes. I'm going to do a Star Wars card and a G.I. Joe card. So,
nice.
Just brilliant here. Edition of 15, and they're $50.
Nice.
So another piece here.
Killer Bootlegs, what up?
I'm sorry?
I just saying Killer Bootlegs, what up? He's in the house.
Oh, what is up, Pete? Next figure is called Platform Prince by Kevin Esslinger. I'm gonna see him at Decon. He's like, you're fucking up my name at every show. So he made the Platform Prince here. Which is this is another example, like there's no pop culture references here. This is his own, I'll just read you what it says and then you can decide. It says the Platform Prince: power, loyalty, and exile in techno-feudal age. In a world ruled by algorithms where visibility is power and exile means erasure, sovereignty hasn't vanished, it's migrated. The Platform Prince is a bold, modern how do you say this word? Treatise for a new kind of ruler, not one of land or law, but of platforms, data, and narrative control. Inspired by Machiavelli, The Prince, this book reveals the architecture of techno-feudalism, where code is law, loyalty is tokenized, and every scroll is a submission. It's crazy. So not to be outdone, everyone's competing with each other. And it's like, screw you, I'm going to try and make something better. It's a signed and number edition of 15. It's $20.
Whoa.
And then he wrote a book, dude. And you get a copy of the book for the $20. It's his first published book, signed first edition. I could read you more.
And you get the book with it?
You get the book with it.
For $20.
For $20. It's
that's insane.
And this book is fucked up. Excommunication in the cloud, digital banishment, censorship, and algorithmic erasure. To be silenced is no longer a symbolic loss. I mean, it's just cancel culture and distributed inquisition, rituals of purification, court by feed, not by blood, sovereignty is spectacle, the fragility of favor, banquets of content, feasts of clout, dystopian selfies, and the loneliness of the digital mirror. Oh my God, it's just, dude. You want to kill yourself,
the word salad. Holy smokes.
Yeah, fantastic. Just like I said, everyone's trying to they just want to release something, they want it to sell out, and I think this guy's pretty gifted, and I think for $20 you should get in on it. So what did he say? Packaged along with a dead tree. With the text titled The Platform Prince, it serves as a relic. I was wondering if he's referring to the dead tree is the card back inside there, or if the dead tree is the book.
Right.
Serves as a relic of our techno-feudal age, half idle, half warning. Okay, there you go. All right, and because every Canadian we know is in the show, Magoob, unbelievable. Okay, this is Squiggly Line Toys, Dirt and Wormy. Fucking insane.
Squiggly line.
Get it.
You gotta love how the paint apps on it are so stupid but tight. Like I was even looking at like the perfect white on Bert earlier, just being like that's so bad but so good.
It's like, can you do a really good job of something bad? it's like, can you make an interesting film about a boring character? It's like just really, yeah. So each one of these is based on an original painting. So no two of the edition of 10, and they're $61. They're all different. And if you buy one, so let's say he sent me, so this is number 1. He sent me the original art used to make number 1, which has a matching number. But if you buy number 6 here, or number 2, you can contact him and he has the original for that for sale with the matching number of number 2. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. It's fucking crazy. See, everyone's always just trying to like fuck you, everybody else. They're like, look what I can do. It's like, I can make pop-ups. It's like, yeah, well, I can publish an entire book. It's like, well, I can paint a painting on every one. I'll just read you what he wrote here. This 13th edition to Magoob Warp Universe is a tribute to a couple of little buddies. Vintage figures were 3D digitally scanned in low resolution using an iPhone app. The resulting scan was prototyped. A silicone mold was made to cast resin copies. Each figure is meticulously hand-painted with the least amount of care in 8K resolution using nano paint technology. Each set of figures is mounted to one of 10 unique card backs that are digital reproductions of original hand-painted panels, also available for sale by Magoob Toys. So, crazy. Okay, so now we're talking about crazy. Let's talk about, like the most crazy. Okay, Edwin Salas. Yeah. I just, and so for those of you who don't know Edwin works in wood. And so when he makes us an edition of 5 or 10 or 50 or whatever he does, he's actually hand carving the piece 10 times or 5 times. In this case, it's 5 times. This is an edition of 5. This is about 10 inches long, has a little, Darth Vader there. And they all look, relatively uniform. I mean, with some slight differences, looks like a stenciled side. I keep one of these from every show, and one day I'm gonna have a case just full of Edwin's like crazy wood universe. They're $180, and Edwin, I don't know, I could see this being in a museum one day. Don't know if you agree. You can argue, but I could see the Edwin Salas show, and just it's bound to happen. Give it time.
I think you're right, dude. Have you seen his booth in person when at a show or anything?
Only photos. And then I've seen the videos of all the stuff he's bringing to Decon, because he's going to be right across from us. And I'm like, I need one of those. And
yeah, man, straight up. Like, I met him in Asheville a couple times. And actually I think he was in Philly too. But dude, not only a great dude, but I think he lives in Asheville, or he was going to school out there.
Mm-hmm.
But his booth, like between the prints, he does like
he does linoleum cuts and wood block. Yeah.
Yes, the lino cuts and stuff. Yeah, it's and on top of the figures. And dude, the variety of stuff that I have from him, God, dude, it's so damn good. It's everything from like different scale size figures that are all in wood that actually articulate. But just like the vibe of his whole setup is.
I mean, he's a trained puppet maker. So he just knows how to make shit out of wood, and he's just turned that into this, he still does that, but he's just turned that into this crazy, work of art. And so like sculpting wood or sculpting in linoleum and printing, it's all sort of like the same skill. It's really epic. This one is Compulsion by Alex Gross. This is pretty much the last figure that will be in this line, and obviously it is just what do you call it, a shameless money grab, I guess is what you call it, when people are just so done, because we've released Vader, Chewbacca, Stormtrooper, Leia, right? So there's been four so far, pretty sure. And so look where Boba Fett is. Where is he? There's Boba Fett.
There we go.
You can see the most significant character on the original piece of art that he created. So Boba Fett, of course, because that's what one does. When you get to the end, everyone's like hit fatigue mode. It's like, oh, you're gonna release another one. Oh, you're gonna do it like Lando and Yoda and Ben, whatever. And it's like, okay, now what? Then you do Greedo because.
Never do the Spock.
Oh, that's true. We did do a Spock figure because there's always a joke in all of his paintings. Like he'll always, make a complete, painting of all, bad guys from all movies, and then he'll just hide like a Donald Trump in the corner. Or he did an entire Game of Thrones and then put like a Frodo in the back. It's really funny. There's always just one little Easter egg just to like piss people off.
Yeah, it's the same movie, right?
Right. This is the first time we're showing Tony Mora. If you guys get a chance to get Tony Mora on the show, I highly recommend it. He mostly works in Keshi. He's a genius.
Yeah,
This
dude,
is
I got one of those Alfzillas at Decon a couple years ago. He's a great dude.
Shin Alfzilla and Shin Garmura. So we got a little Alf guy right there and a little Garfield.
Nice.
Fantastic. Edition of 10. These are resin, edition of 10, and they're $60 for a set of 2. Moving on. Oh, just so people know, you've seen this Death by Toys, Thoughts and Prayers. So we got a bunch of these. We're giving out 100 of them. So the first 100 orders, either by mail or at the show, we'll bring some to the show, get one of these guys for free.
Oh, that's awesome.
If you don't have one, you should. They're fantastic.
Dude, just real quick, man, what do you think of because I know it's his account too, but you would know probably more than anybody, the empty blister.
Yes.
I have a bunch of them in a bunch of different forms. Do they typically, it seems like they typically sell. I mean, that's an edition of 100.
Of which one?
The Thoughts and Prayers. That's a large edition.
No. There's 100 we're giving out for free.
Right.
I think when we printed these cards, we printed 1,000. So, and we were selling them for 20 because we had to pay him a royalty. The largest expense is actually paying someone to glue these 2 blisters on here. I mean, that is the most labor. It's 2 blisters instead of every other figure that's only 1. He found a way, and then he would buy them from us, and then resell them, and he always comes back for more. So we have several artists that ask us to make figures for them because they need more figures than they can make, and we have resources of artists who can cast and paint and print and assemble, and so quite often people who can move a lot of stuff come to us to do that kind of stuff. But he actually found a way to make them cheaper, and I believe these are on Amazon right now for, I'm going to say $9.95.
Oh, wow.
What?
You want to show them?
Oh, sure. Do we have it over there? And it's slightly different. They had to figure out a way to. So I've looked into it locally. There is a machine. So if you feel I would say from Power of the Force on Star Wars figure, like Power of the Force 2, like 1997, there is they do the CMYK printing, and then there is a clear coat of glue. So most action figures that you see have a clear coat of glue on the front. And if you look at heat sealers that are available commercially in this country, you can only do them on very thin paper because they heat from the back. And so the heat heats up this, whatever they call it, like an aqueous coat of glue. And it sort of, that's how that, if you look at any modern action figure that is glued to a blister, do we have just a Super 7 figure, something? There should be a Snake Eyes right up on top. Oh, here we go. Do a Killer Bootlegs. Okay, so when you see how that's glued there, like they're not actually gluing that. they are heating up, and you see that little, there's like this little pattern in there
Yeah.
of, you see
Right,
that
right.
pattern? So that pattern is a metal die that is made to match this blister, and it just heats up from the front. And they really only do this process in China. Like there's, like, I've looked, there's no one. And but on top of here is a glue coat, at least here. Sometimes you can see the difference if they're only doing it in this area, but quite often they just do it on the entire sheet. And if you look at how most artists in the scene make cards, they're doing it the exact same way they actually do it at print shops. Is that they print a piece of paper and they laminate a piece of paper on the front and back to a substrate that's in the middle. And that's really, if you look at the Sucklord's work, you look at any of these figures that anyone has made, that's essentially what's going on here. This is black chipboard on the back, but it's basically a piece of paper on the front, because printers usually can't accept this thick of stock. I'm sure they could do it if they want, but printing is such a fast process, like going through a printer, and especially if it's going through a drum. If it's on flat, maybe they could configure to print on something thicker, but they just don't. They just glue, and so that makes that process. So I did look into someone local who could do that. And I'll probably go to hell for telling you this. It was there's a local guy who runs a business who sells manual labor, and the people who work there are developmentally disabled and do all of this work, and it's supposed to be vocational experience. And I don't know if that's bad or good. It's slightly uncomfortable. So anyway, I never did it. I I don't I hope it's great work environment, and I hope that it does something positive. But the thought of it, when I was told that, was like, I don't know, this felt like, and maybe that's wrong. Maybe it's helpful. I don't know, but the thought of these kids, like, and I just, you assume it's kids. It could be adults.
Yeah.
I have no way of knowing that.
He's like, I can have 50,000 by next Wednesday.
Right. So, and the reason I know this is because back in the distribution days, there was a company that hired them, and something happened with like a blind box series. They had an actor's name associated with it, and they got pissed or something. And so someone had to go in on 10,000 blind boxes. You can imagine, like, every step of the way, take the master case, pull out the inner tray, pull out each individual piece, and put a little sticker over the name with like the correct spelling or whatever, and rinse and repeat 10,000 times. And this guy came in this stake bed truck that had like holes in it, was sort of rickety, and I'm like, what's going on here? What kind of operation is this? But anyway, my little Cthulhu, you're right. Ian has like the savant brain. So Death by Toys figured out this fantastic workaround to get these made very inexpensively. And it's basically, I mean, if you want to talk about like, just engineering and thinking of how to do this stuff, is 2 pieces of cardboard glued together, and then die cutting the front and putting the blisters inside, and then gluing the pieces together, which you would do anyway.
Right.
And then you don't have to sit there and glue them. You just pop the blisters in, glue the things together, and boom, you have this piece, which he's now selling on Amazon, in hopes to like get this thing to like go viral and, sell millions of units, but he can sort of turn on a dime and get it.
Dude, I really like the fact, like, let's just say that was on like another 3.75 or whatever, right? But you know how sometimes after you have them for a while and they go through, whatever they're going through, sometimes, like you said, the bubbles kind of get loose or maybe pop up in one corner. Man, what a crazy way to just like X that whole shit out.
Other artists have done this. You just have to have access to a die cutting machine. I think Healy, very few of his carded figures, the ones that have the screws in the corner. Do you know which ones I'm talking about? Like the very first resin what's the one, with the GI Joe head on the Boba Fett body?
Raider from
The
Alien.
Raider, right?
Yeah.
So the very first Raiders that came on a card, Tom from Sidekick Labs took 2 pieces of cardboard, they die cut, and then what was cool is that, and then it had 4 screws in each side, and so you could actually undo it and take the figure out, which was kind of brilliant. And then he did his foil printing on there. So, interesting to see the thought process going from, the simple way that we make stuff versus
Sure.
this. But like I told you, we buy collections back and dealer inventory, and we just posted probably over 100 figures that we got back recently. But a lot of what we do is like repair. Ian is very adept at repairing stuff and making up for sometimes where artists lack in their foresight of, like, how to handle things. When you're making something in China, you can make a blister that fits your figure very tightly, and so it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And so when someone makes a figure that that fills the blister, really well, again, even though it's resin and it's delicate, like, it'll go to the top a little bit. And the worry is that when you ship something to someone, that this is going to go like this, like 100 times. So most likely this is not going to break. If you look at what Magoob did, I mean, making his own blister and inner blister, and then using those ties there to tie them down. So this is just another, like, art in and of itself, is like protecting these delicate treasures, and some don't get protected. Like, so if the figure is too small, we're sort of faced with the options, like, do we glue this to the card? And so, like, this one and Boba Fett, they have to be glued, or else it's just, the blister's too big, but that's sort of the standard one size fits all blister. So yeah, fantastic. The way everyone has to, and then my number one message to all artists is find your packaging first before you make something. You don't ever want to make something and figure out packaging later, unless you don't mind it being loose. If your intent is to have package, find the package, make it fit the package. Even Sadat, in making this piece, this has a wire on the back. So
Right.
Ian had to go through and put a piece of plastic, something hard, in between that wire, because if you look at where the holes are, so they're just hand punched holes. So what happens as it gets loose over time and you start cranking it more and more,
Yeah.
eventually, it's going to get tighter and tighter, and then you're just going to be left with one hole.
Yeah.
And it's going to fly out. So you have to go do what, like, Hasbro and Kenner did back in the day, is like put that little, like, that bow tie looking piece of plastic. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
It sort of looks like, doing a terrible job drawing. I don't know, it looks like a penis, but you know what I mean, like that kind of thing.
Right. Right. Yeah. Between the two, where you would.
Look what Ian did. See, you can see that right there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So quite often, artists ship us stuff, and then we have to, like, do stuff to it to make sure, because even you can see as it bounces around, there's a little paint on the blister.
Yeah.
And that's something that also happens quite often. I don't know if you can see
gotcha.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just a little dot there. So usually we ask especially artist shipping stuff from Canada, is to ship us the figures and the card back separately, and then we assemble it so that they're not bouncing around. But also, if you made an edition of 10 or 20, you could ship that in one box, right? Just of 10 flat cards, and 10 figures fits in something very small, as opposed to if you're shipping stuff in package, then what? You're just shipping a bunch of empty space.
Yeah, well, I mean, and look how much more you can fit in there, man. I mean, I would think that if we're for large editions of stuff that's already packaged, I mean, not only are you trying to ship all that stuff, but you're trying to protect everything at the same time. And
sure, so it's just one less shipping. It ships to us, and then we ship it to somebody, or and it's just less wiggle. So All right, so our next batch here is from Buzzard Guts. And this is, if you guys familiar with the Star World case, and this line of figures here that he has concocted. I think we're 7, 2, 4, 6, 8. So there's 9 figures on the back. And so he made the last 2. This guy. Ian, can you grab me the Star World case? Just show them. So these are the last 2 figures in the line. This one is Tubal Cain and Guy Walker.
That's beautiful.
And the other ones, I81B4U and OU812. Those are my favorites. But it should be up maybe right there, straight ahead. Come towards me, next to the AT-AT over here. Sorry, guys. Right to your right there, on the side of that crate, next to the starting lineups. Anyway, so Dane, if you met Dane, he just made a figure of himself as the cosmic war hippie. So it how to explain it. So this is the Star World case that came out in 1978 or something like this. It was just sort of like a Star Wars ripoff case, and you can see those characters. So his first character was this Vader, and he's sort of gone through and made. So this is Guy Walker. So those 9 figures that he sort of concocted out of this vinyl case that, was sort of what you got when you went to the cheap store and it was sold out of Star Wars stuff. It's like, hey, look, I bought you a Star World case. And you're like, what's that? So he made the 10th figure as well, Cosmic War Hippie, which is basically himself doing what he does there. Not going to say it. Anyway, so it's a set of 3. There's only 15 of them. And so, so when the Vader came out, what's his name? Dark Invader, that edition was 50. And it's been 7 years to come out with all of these. And now just doing the last 3 just to finish the line, because what I can tell you is he's fucking sick of it. Every time I call, it's like, hey, dude, you want to make another Star World figure? And it's like, it's sort of diminishing returns. It started with like 50 figures, and then made another edition of 50. And there really wasn't 50 people who wanted that. It's like, because there's a lot of Vader collectors, a lot of people just want the one thing and only need one, and they're not going to commit to buying, they don't need 10 figures. They just want the one. And so it just gets harder and harder now that, we're down to 15. All the artwork on the card backs are done by Last Boss Comics, Neil Devlin. And because he was bored, inspired, I don't know, he decided to do a Star World activity book in the old-timey style. He hand drew every page. And if you buy the set of the 3, you get one of these for free. And he tells the story, which you can color in. Here, if you look at Story Time with Dove right now, which is really weird. There's little mazes and crosswords and connect the dots.
That's funny. You know what, man? That's so funny. Yo-Yo Dine pipes up and says, oh my God, I want a copy of that book. And right when you brought that, when you showed that, I was just like, oh, dude, that's got Yo-Yo Dine written all over it, dude.
What do you think Guy Walker is daydreaming about? Draw it here.
That GIMP figure.
Spot the differences. Can you spot 10 differences in the 2 photos? 2 pictures?
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea. There's another. This illustration is fantastic because there's Dane again. And, it's like, what is that? Anyway, fantastic. Like I said, everyone's just always trying to outdo each other. It's like, let's make an activity book and give it to them for free. It's like, okay.
And that was Buzzard Guts, correct?
Buzzard Guts made the figures, but the art on the card is by Last Boss Comics, Neil Devlin. So last year, if you remember, all that time ago, we by Dystopian Customs in Argentina, we had the Chosen One, which was based on this illustration he made. Sold out of that run. We decided to do more. but they're in crazy fluorescent colors.
Ooh, nice.
Um,
Resin? That's all resin?
resin. This is one hunk of resin coming out of the mold in one piece.
God, yeah. What's the weight on that, dude?
How much this weigh? It's 2 pounds. All right. Ian's gonna put on a scale for you. So there's five editions of fluor in lovely fluorescent highlighter colors.
Oh, damn, those are cool. Fuck.
1 pound, 12 ounces.
1 pound, 12 ounces. So what's that? 1.75 pounds. We got fluorescent blue.
And is it just one of each color?
There's 4 of each.
4 of each. Oh.
Well, I'm gonna get 1 of each. So there's gonna be 3 of each available. And I don't know. I like so I have another collection. I collect political art with Star Wars references. And so it's anytime an artist uses a Star Wars theme to communicate a political idea. And this started 20 years ago. Most of the art are editorial cartoons that were in the newspaper. And so someone draws like, Dick Cheney as Darth Vader and, whatever, Ronald Reagan as Luke Skywalker, whatever it is, I would call the artist and try and get the original. And then political art started showing up in the street. And so there's a lot of street artists that also used Star Wars imagery to communicate political ideas. And then there's obviously plenty of political commentary in this scene, which, it's a little subculture, but I do consider religious iconography as politics. And so, sometimes it's motivated like me. It's like, hey, let's make them in different colors because I want them. So, yeah, it's just one of those things. So you guys before we're talking about the cases. So these are 2 cases of, let's say, 10, and there's one whole case out there that is all statues of, mostly Buddhas, because that's sort of and I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's just the easiest thing for someone getting into resin. It's what Killer Bootlegs is one of his first pieces. It's just easy to grab a Buddha statue, chop off the head, put Darth Vader on it. And I must have, Star Wars Buddhas from a dozen different artists, in different sizes, from this one to 3D printed. Can you grab that crappy 3D printed Yoda that I got on eBay? And this one showed up. It was $17 plus shipping. It was like, and I just figured like this is such a product of its time because 3D printing is going to just get better and better. So like the resolution of this piece is just so like right now in the past like 5-10 years, because eventually no one is going to print anything that looks anything this crappy ever again. But it's like,
Oh, wow.
how could I not resist this ridiculous thing? It's like, well, okay. So anyway, Crumbs is not saying anything, so he just thinks I'm fucking weird, but that's okay.
No, that thing is huge, man. And I do get it because you're right. It's one of those weird things where we're gonna work out those layer lines. We're already seeing it, and like you mentioned, it's gonna become almost a product of the time as people are trying to make things better. We're
It's
not
like
gonna see that.
It's like when you see 90s shit, like, packaging in the 80s, everything was hand drawn and laid out and looked really cool. And then in the 90s, like Photoshop and Illustrator, that stuff came in, and like packaging design and everything's just sort of took a dip. Everyone's like, hey, we can do it digitally. And it's like, yeah, but it's not as good. And really took some time to really get there. Anyway, moving on. The Sucklord, if you remember last year, did the sharding lineup, has made another 10 figures in 5 sports. So he made some basketball players out of squid heads. And these will all come blind bagged in a header card. And then he made football players out of Royal Guards. And then last time we did have hockey players, but we didn't have any goalies. So we got Sucklord goalies.
Oh, there you go. That's a cool one. I like that.
And I think the baseball is probably my favorite because those are Kermit.
Mm.
And then the creature is I think
Oh, that's awesome.
your choice of either a gymnast, you can see a little creature there, or a little guy running. It's in a bag here. I think this is made from like a Jesse Owens figure.
With the baseball and the football ones, does he leave the names on the back of the jerseys, or does he take those off?
He paints them, but you can see like that says Bledsoe on it.
Oh yeah, the Expos one, dude. I was like, dude, is that a Tim Wallach figure?
It's I think it's Galarraga.
Galarraga, there you go. Uncle Matty, what is up, dude? Haven't seen
like,
that in a while.
Here's a Ripken.
Nice.
Yeah, here's Galarraga, Expos. Yeah, the baseball ones didn't really get much treatment on the jersey. Guess he liked the way those looked, but the football ones really got painted, pretty deeply. But you can see basketball also. You got Ellis and Isaiah Thomas and
Monte Ellis, dang, old school Warriors.
Got a John Stockton.
There you go. Gonzaga, Utah Jazz, all-time steals and assist leader.
There you go. And then we have 4 of these guys. And if you've seen the Sucklord's work, his figures with the dice for heads, Kronos, that was one of my favorite figures. So when I found this thing that had 6 characters on it, you could put all 6 Dungeons and Dragons dice on it. I was very amused. So we made a couple of those for us. There's 4 of those. The sharding lineups, you get 1 of each of the 5. It's 195, and the 6 award winners, that's 295. Okay, let's talk about the Emperor, the Galactic Aristocrat series by Recollection.
Oh, I was going to ask you if he. I saw his gallery show. I was going to ask you if he had
mind-blowing. That if you haven't, I'm just going to tell everyone, go to his Instagram page, Recollection, and go watch that video of his gallery show. It is fantastic. He does a quick walkthrough, takes a minute or 2, and just everything is porcelain. So this backer, so how he gets those words on there, that's acid etched into the porcelain. And this is an AP he sent ahead of time, but this blister is made out of glass, and the AP is glued on, but the other ones will have magnets, so you can take them off, and then the Emperor inside can be removed.
Yeah, dude.
Just guy is a genius. Really, like I said, taking the medium to the next step. Brilliant work. Those are $300. It's an edition of 12. And then I know Yoyodyne is hanging out here, waiting for like, where's my figure?
You know what's crazy, dude? Like you say, at 300 in addition to 12, dude, I bet all those sell. You know,
they always do. I mean, yeah. Do we have any Recollection in the store right now?
3POs.
So we have 1 C3PO left from last time. So
yeah, dude, his store, like he used to keep a lot of stuff in stock or like keep producing, but I think the more popular it's like you go in that store now and there's nothing in there, you know?
Definitely. Let's take this out of the bag here. One of the nice things about the sort of a workaround for people who find it appropriate to use our clamshell is that you can wrap the figure on its way to the customer. So while someone else's figure is, bouncing around, in the clamshell, you have the luxury of wrapping it, and then the customer can open the clamshell, and then you are left with Yoyodyne's Robo Squatch. Fucking fantastic.
Yeah, dude, that's really good too.
Edition of 15, $65. And again, another member of the Canadian tribe, soon to be the 51st state.
Thank you.
Let's see, did we cover everything? Star World, Buzzer Guts. Okay, so that's everything there. A couple other things that showed up. When 1980 Who dropped by, did bring couple of these. It's called Stuff from Your Mom's Kitchen Junk Drawer. Those are in the store right now. They're 25 bucks. It's an addition of 10. Dead battery and random pasta shapes included in every package.
Dude, the junk drawer. Oh my God. What a great idea to take a junk drawer and just divide it up and card it up and say, there you go, man.
But he put a little effort into it. It's not just modern junk. I mean, it's like a banana eraser and an ever-ready battery and like a matchbook and like some of those little,
A small pencil.
you know, there's like a bean in there and with a bottle cap. Like he really put some effort into that. So,
They're asking any chicken burger disco this year?
not this time.
Not this year.
I wish.
God, what is up, dude?
I always want chicken burger disco in my life, but can't always have what I want. Oh, and there was one last. Sorry, it's not here yet. This is Smash. Let me just find my notes because man, can you imagine if I forgot one artist's stuff? Did all this work and it'd be like, dude, fuck you. You didn't.
Absolutely crucified.
Yeah, this is Smash by Plastic Purpose. Figure is not here yet. This is a hand cast and painted 2-inch carded resin figure, edition of 15. They're $50. And this is a Luigi Mangione reference here. It's that bullet toy. See, it's Luigi. And as a McDonald's style toy, he was arrested in McDonald's. If you get the so no kings, no masters. So again, pretty hardcore political commentary in the form of a toy. Unfortunately, not here yet, but we will have them soon.
My son was on a flag football team in town one time, and they called themselves the Bullets and used that logo. And boy, did that stir some shit up. I'll tell you what. People didn't like that.
I mean, it's something that doesn't matter most of the time until like something bad happens, and then it's like then the outrage comes in. That's always misdirected at like a kid's team. It's like
right.
Like you don't want to talk about like mental health issues, and you don't want to talk about guns, and you don't want to talk about all this stuff. But let's go after a kids team that like calling the kids team the Bullets.
Yeah.
Even though is there a basketball team named the Bullets? Like.
There was the Washington Bullets. That's correct. Bernard King and company. They are now the Washington Wizards, which is much lamer.
You know, so it's like, I mean, I guess that's progress. It's fine. Ian's laughing at me. It's fine. Why do we need a team called the Bullets, right?
Well, you look at the characteristics of a bullet, and like, I don't know. I guess you got to make the decision now if the hill you want to die on or not. But Brisbane Bullets. I don't know what that is, Fletch. That sounds like soccer to me. Or maybe rugby.
All right. And then the last thing here is, so everyone who orders is going to get this Suck Lord Garbage Pail Kid card. This is the B card. It says Suck Lord. It has a DKE logo on the back. So all orders will get one of that. If you buy something from the Suck Lord and hit him up, you can get the A card, which is Makeshift Morgan here, has a psychedelic logo. But if you follow us on our other Instagram feed, which is at bootleg_GPK, which just features artist and fan-made Garbage Pail Kid cards. If you send us a self-addressed stamped envelope and you just DM us and I give you the address, and if you don't know what a self-addressed stamped envelope is, you have to Google it because you're probably too young to know, and that's okay. You'll figure it out. Is this signature series that is signed by the Suck Lord and artist Mark Pingator. And you also get this card signed by Mark Pingator, Killer Bootlegs, and the Suck Lord. So just for a couple stamps, totally free. There you go.
Yeah, see, Crumb, I don't know what happened there. Let's try to fix this, huh? Goodness gracious.
Did I die?
You know
Right,
what,
just-
dude? I was trying to respond to the messages, and I don't know. I think Chrome's just dying over there. I started typing, and I don't know if like my keys are messed up or whatever, but it sent it into some weird.
You started
script.
using
And
shortcuts.
I
That's what was
myself
going on.
and I'm like, that's not right.
I was
Do
trying
I
to
have-
figure it out.
Do we have to start again? Do I have to say everything over again?
Oh no! I think
If
the
we can
people at
start from
home
the
heard what
top
you were
and
saying.
let's do a whole nother run through. That'd be great.
Yeah, we'll
right
start from the beginning. Okay, the first item is.
Oh man.
So that pretty much wraps it up for what we have to show this Friday, November 7th, noon Pacific, DKETOYS.com. Everything goes on sale, and then we will see you at the show, hopefully at DCon. It's a fantastic show. If you're anywhere near Vegas, I highly recommend it. I go to a lot of conventions each year. I know I probably have told you guys this before. There's just no one in line for a celebrity autograph or, you know, a Funko Pop or whatever. And if you're into Funko Pops, no problem. But I'm just saying that at this show, every booth is an artist. If you don't like the art, that's fine. But it's just a room full of creators making mainly three-dimensional objects, but there's plenty of prints and pins and all sorts of other stuff. And I never come home, you know, not blown away by something. You know, I find something that is just sort of next level, explodes my mind. And, you know, at my age, that's what I'm looking for, because I'm just a jaded motherfucker.
Like, are you talking about when you saw Corey Feldman last year and how taken
That-
aback you were?
Yeah, that was weird.
Wasn't that weird, dude? Like his whole entrance was weird.
I did not see that. And it was really, I mean, you know, I've been to conventions where the promoters have said like no Funko Pops.
Mm.
And just to scare away those kind of dealers, and then have like made dealers put their stuff away. It's like, hey, we said no Funko Pops at this show. Like, it's kind of funny thing to do. You know, I don't know if they should go so far as to say like no celebrity, you know, pseudo celebrities at our show, but you know, whatever. If people were into it, then good. At this point, whatever draws attention to the show is good, right? If it gets people in the door, because I do believe that it's the kind of show that you guys would want to go to. It's a show that I would want to go to because we're already into that. But I do believe that if you took someone, especially before Christmas, if you just exposed more people who are not generally into buying art to this kind of stuff, it would just sort of blow it open, right? And I think art is a great gift for people. I think that we should support living artists. Everything that we sell is money goes to living artists. I think that what's happening in the art world right now is a travesty. You know, billions of dollars are being spent on institutions, on a bunch of crap art by, you know, for dead artists. And I don't know, it's just sort of pissing me off. And you can walk into this room at Decon and just see like, you know, I don't know, 500 booths, 1,000, whatever it is. That's just that many times, you know, the creativity, and all of these artists are trying to make it. And I just think that that's, you know, we are, the guy from Spoke Art Gallery, he posted on Instagram, and he was just talking about how, you know, the definition of a recession is 2 consecutive quarters with no growth. And he was talking about how like art sales today is 100%. You can say the stock market's doing this and all these other people investments are doing great or whatever, but the art market today, or art, just let's say artists themselves, were in a recession. I don't know any artist right now that is not having a hard time. You know, I mean, unless they're fortunate enough to like have a balance between having a job that pays the bills and doing their creativity on the side. But if they're full-time artists that are devoted to doing their art and selling their merch and stuff like that, it's really rough right now. So, you know, go buy some art. It's really, you know, you don't need to buy a bunch of garbage. You know, go to the store and buy someone a gift that they're going to throw out. It's like, get them something that's made by hand.
Yeah.
like something that they will appreciate, and it's like has some thought in, into it. And
What would you say to artists who are just kind of going through that grind at not even just at the moment, but just in general? And I see it across a whole bunch of different mediums, not only what we do here, but tattoo artists would be another good example, right? Because it's like,
tattoo artists are having a rough time right now.
yeah, everything's so, and and I've had several tattoo artists break it down to me, and it makes a lot of sense how there's, we had this thing with COVID, and a lot of people were home and had time. And back in the day, there would be one apprentice, and it would, and now there's like artists that have 4 or 5 apprentices, and now there's that many more people doing tattoos, and now it seems like everybody's doing fucking tattoos. But as far as that goes, man, what advice would you say to somebody who is just struggling with that and say, man, is this really even worth it right now? Like I make something, I make an edition of 5, I sell 1. What am I doing?
Well, I think that the general rule that was told to me years ago is that if you can do anything else and be happy, you should do it. And if the only thing you can do is art and be happy, then you have no choice to do it. Right? So if you can go become a lawyer, become an accountant, become a sanitation worker, a plumber, whatever it is, an IT specialist, whatever, you want to, ring up groceries at the store, whatever it is, if you can do that and be happy, you should do that, because art is not for everyone. But if you do that job and you are miserable because you're not doing your art and you're not creating, then people make art because they have to. Now, whether you are fortunate enough to do it professionally or whether you have to do it as a hobby is up to you, because you might be a great artist in your mind, you might be a great artist, relatively in real life, objectively you can be a great artist, right? But society, you might not be where the rest of the world is, where they want to spend money on that, right? So there's like, that meme, it's like, I hear the voiceover on the commercial and I can name the actor whose voice that is, like, oh, that's Christopher Lloyd doing Ritz whatever crackers, and it's like, that's a skill that I will never get paid for, and I can always do it, right? So if you have a skill and not every skill can be monetized, right? And your art might be, stacking rocks in your backyard. And as long, the creative fulfillment needs to come from within. And I think that's the bottom line. And if you can bag groceries during the day and come home and do your art at night, and you are fulfilled by that, then that's what you have to do, right? Because you have no choice. Otherwise, you're miserable. Like, you look at all of, like Hitler, he wasn't that famous story. Like, you can see some of his art in museums and stuff. Some collectors have it. Like, he painted these big sort of like cityscapes, and he painted people as like little ants, and he was sort of like laughed at in art school. Well, you take creative people, and you laugh at them for their art, like, and they don't get to do their art, they just start killing people. So I don't know if the story's true about like Fidel Castro, like wanting to be a baseball player and being in Florida, and like, had a chance to throw a ball, and, it wasn't good enough. And then, it's like, then you go, be a dictator. So, don't be a dictator.
Do art instead.
Right. And you know what, the thing is, and now that I have kids, you can sort of see it. All people are creative. It just, you get to a certain age when you're in art class and you're just drawing like a do, right? And then there's one kid in the corner that is just drawing like photorealistic apple, and then there's me that's like, doodles on the sheet, and I look mentally not all there, right? And humans are hierarchical animals, and we just see like oh, that guy's like, that person over there is really good at that. And I don't know. This is not like, you have to sort of be like demented, like Ed Wood or something like that, where like you don't see everyone else and you just have these blinders on and you just keep going, right? And there's something special in that. If you ever see, if anyone out there, if you're an artist or not, if you've seen Ed Wood, the Tim Burton movie, it's a fantastic movie, but it's so sad, right? And if you ever watch Plan 9 from Outer Space, and it's got a cult following, but he's basically known for making horrible movies and that are practically unwatchable, so unwatchable that, you know, people all get together to watch it because it's good, I guess. And so these kids, they as soon as they see someone else that's better than them, they sort of like stop doing it. And by a certain age, you know, by whenever you're 12 or 13 and you stop absorbing things and you care about, you know, the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever you care about, like sex, you sort of, the hierarchy gets even, you know, the competition gets even amped up just a little bit more. Like, where do I fit? You know, it's like, I'm not gonna just sit here and doodle my crazy apples, you know, that I know everyone thinks is a carrot, right? Because, and they just look at you like you are a loser and do not deserve to procreate. So, right? So it's like, so it gets hard, and art gets, and creativity, let's not call it art, let's just call it creativity, gets beaten out of most of us at a very young age. Um, as do, you know, most things that we aspire to be. Like, you know, what did I want to be when I was a kid? I wanted to be a fireman. So there you go. My fireman today? No, I'm not. Fuck that. I'm 52. I'm going to go join the reserves today and start putting out fires. You know what I mean? It just,
Yeah.
You have an idea of what things are, and most people gravitate to what they're good at. And when you see that you're not good at something, you sort of stop. And when you stop creativity, I think that makes us all sort of like weaker and society weaker. So I think creativity should always be encouraged at all levels, but you don't have to make money at it. And the job market today is such that, you know, if you go to McDonald's and you get a minimum wage job, the manager is also like, it used to be, you could be 16 or whatever and go get a job at McDonald's, like that was it. But the manager at McDonald's is still making minimum wage, and, you know, he's an adult, and, you know, the people that you're competing with sometimes are in their 30s and 40s, like they need a job, and so kids can't get jobs. And then I was going somewhere with this, but I don't know. Ian's looking at me funny, like I'm crazy. So when it goes to the tattoo artist, that's just a job that a lot of creative people can do. So as all of the creative jobs sort of like disappear, and tattooing was historically pays a lot per hour. How much is a tattoo an hour? 100 to 200 bucks. So it's like the tattoo artist probably gets what, half of that, and the other half goes to the shop, you know, to pay for rent and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's sort of what we're experiencing here in Los Angeles. There's so many people in the effects industry, so many people whose effects jobs are gone and their Hollywood jobs are gone. And so now graphic designers are having trouble working. Sculptors in the toy scene are having trouble because there's a guy who worked special effects on, you know, The Thing, or, you know, some classic movie. He's like, oh, well, I can sculpt that for you. You know, I can sculpt your toy for 500 bucks because they got nothing else going on. And someone whose whole job is to sculpt stuff is now competing with someone who's been in the entertainment industry for the past 40 years. You just can't compete with that. So you take someone who can't sell a painting now, totally talented, they're like 50 bucks an hour doing some tattoos. And so someone who's just doing tattoos at an entry level, like shit rolls downhill. So,
Yeah.
Reagan.
Did you hear what Ian said?
What?
He said, "Thanks a lot, Reagan." Yeah.
I think one of the things that kind of keeps people going too is just the support from other people, whether you're selling stuff or not. But that's
100%.
dig about the community is that, you see people that kind of leave and then come back, and then maybe get some praise in the comments and stuff. And you can like literally see it building them back up. And next thing you know, they're maybe doing something else. And people come in and out of the scene all the time, it seems like. But I think the one thing that brings them back is not only their creativity, but just kind of the camaraderie of the scene, and then the support, man. I mean, I know a lot of
Totally.
people here whether it be toys or life in general, or some of the side conversations that happen, I think support is a huge, huge part of it, right?
Well, I'm going to say it, you say it again, and I said it last year. It's like, this is what you guys do. You guys create community. You have a get together every week where artists can come together. And if you can just create something and get together with people and create that camaraderie and get attention just from your peers, you don't have to make money from it. You're just like, hey, look what I made, and everyone's into it. That's the creativity that helps you, get up the next day and go to work and do whatever else you have to do to survive. Like, it's a better life than our ancestors. Our ancestors just woke up hungry, wandered around, didn't specialize in anything. They just looked for food all day. Right? We figured out how to farm and herd, and then we started living in one place. And then all of this, and then all of a sudden there's a doctor and there's a lawyer and there's a soldier and someone who puts out fires and art. Right? Before it was just a dude farting around on a cave wall, and just at night when there's nothing else to do. But again, he woke up the next morning, he or she, just super hungry and just wandered the earth looking for food. And so we've conquered those issues for the most part. So this is a gift.
Yeah.
This technology is a gift. You get to make something. You don't, TV and social media, let's just call it media in general, propagate some idea, these rags to riches stories and people, look up to essentially like talentless people who have opinions or look a certain way or whatever. And these are not, these are not heroes. These are people who are overpaid and, misbehave, and we all like to follow the drama, but it's not really helping society. It's not helping people on a day-to-day basis. And the push today, well, I was at a convention, I was at a book fair, and there was a dude with a printing press. There's a museum out here in Torrance or something with like the printing museum. And this dude had this big printing press, and he's like, my son walks up and he's like, here, put this piece of paper. And he puts it in and he goes, he does a crank, and like out comes this piece of paper, with a design on it. It's like, this is how people used to print stuff.
Yeah.
And the thing that this guy pointed out to me, which just sort of blew my mind, is if you look at like the history in Europe of what happened immediately after the printing press, is exactly where the world is right now after the inception of social media, right? Is that you have just this new platform of communication that we're still in the infancy, and people just believe whatever they see. Right? It's not, and they think that they see it and it's real, and AI is making it worse. And until there's a generation of, it's like, how well does a TV commercial work on you? When someone says, like, you understand the concept of puffery when someone says, we got the best pizza in the world.
Right.
Like, is it the best pizza in the world? No, right? Obviously, but they're allowed to say it, but it's not. And we know that it's bullshit. And we know that marketing is lying to us, right? And trying to sell us things that we don't need. And some of it's cool, right? Technically we don't need art, right? But emotionally we do, but technically we don't need to. You can go to the museum and stuff, right? You don't have to own stuff. We do take pleasure out of it. So I don't know. I was going somewhere, but now I'm mad. I don't know. I'm just here to make Crumbs laugh. Yeah, so social media benefits from engaging us. They make more money when we are engaged, and the way to engage us is by lying to us, making us angry, making us hate other people, and it's created a whole, if you look at what's happening in the world and governments across, the world, is sort of the same thing that happened after the printing press. And it's just going to take another generation so that we react to social media the same way we do to commercials. Buy a Toyota, it's like you hear that and you're just like, whatever, dude, right? So now it's more sinister. There's a really good book called, I think it's called Brand Washing. And it's all about how Madison Avenue, all the advertisers, starting 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, once that advertising became a thing, they were the ones that on the forefront of paying for all psychological studies. They knew stuff before the psychologists of the day. And the same is true today. So all those people at social media companies, all the industry knows more about how your brain works than, if you're having issues and I go to the therapist, like they're a generation ahead of the therapists, if that makes sense. So Coca-Cola, when they, invented the image of Santa Claus that we see today, right? This rotund dude with a white beard. Like, you look at what Santa Claus looked like 100 years ago. It was not, didn't come down your chimney, didn't do any of this stuff. But this is how Coca-Cola made, this beverage part of the culture. And the Santa Claus that we see every day is made by Coca-Cola. So it's going to take some time, and things will get settled down, and you hope that shit doesn't get really bad in the interim, and that we can ride the storm, and that there's enough common sense. But it's rough, and it's really rough right now for young people. And the younger you are, it's bad. The amount of wealth that's concentrated in older people, it is. Ian just said depressing. Yes. The likelihood that younger people will be able to own a home, the number of, there's a guy, Scott Galloway. I don't always agree with his politics, but really sort of fascinating to listen to. He talks about it a lot, and talks about, like, especially like men and boys, like how it's not cool to say it now, but how difficult men and boys are having in our society, access to, computers and technology, and AI and porn is just, they're predicting population decline and collapse. And, it's like there's, I think it was like half of whatever age group they gave, is like half of men never have asked a woman out in person. And it's like there's just a lack of connection. So, we try to encourage people who make art and make crazy shit.
Yeah, right.
And make connection.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
So, there you go. Resin Toys will save the world. DKETOYS, Friday, November 7th at noon.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh man, that was the big lead up too. So
I totally planned that too. Every word, like I had it written here, and I was just like, I'm gonna go down this diatribe and first bring it back.
What advice would you have?
Buying
And-
toys from DKE will save the world.
all of that from B being like, and what advice would you have for up and coming artists? You're just like, try not to fucking kill yourselves. You know, just keep making art.
Well, let's talk about where society's at as a whole.
Don't be part of the collapse. Keep making art.
Right. I should have asked you, because I did an interview with Frank Kozik, and I asked him a question, and he's like, "Do you want like the 30-second answer? Do you want like the 5-minute answer, or do you want like the 15-minute answer?" And I just said, "Give me like the 2 or 3." It took 10 minutes anyway, so
There we go.
Jimmy
Always.
Folklore says, "Resin toys will save the world." Shows a toy made of wood.
right. You ever watch those early Kevin Smith shows? They're called like, I'm old, I have them on DVD. They're called you have to Google it. There's like, it's called An Evening with Kevin Smith and a 3 Evening with Kevin Smith, and he just sells out this auditorium, and he stands on stage, and people walk up there in a line and they ask a question, and then he talks for 45 minutes and just tells this story, and people are just enthralled, and the things are like 3 or 4 hours long, and there's not a dull moment. It's like, wow.
Just from one question?
Just for one question. And then he's like, "Okay, next question." And it's like, you know,
Were you taking notes or something, or what?
I wasn't. I just, you know, I don't plan to say all this shit. It's just one thing leads into the other. So I don't know. You can shut me up at any time. It's your show.
Hey,
Crumbs can just go boom and I'm gone.
All right, so let's talk about Decon just real quick, and then we can do the giveaway. Starts the pre-show. I'm sure starts on Friday. Same setup, right? Friday at 5:00 starts.
Friday noon. Everything goes on sale, but 11:30 we start our show that is going to last forever. We've booked virtually every artist you see here for 15 minutes, so we'll be on for like 4 or 5 hours.
Oh wow!
And we just like to spend, 15 minutes with each artist, just sort of explaining like where they come from, what makes them tick, and just what I always come away with after each experience like that is when you listen to an artist talk about their work, it makes you want it, right? It gives it context. And, there's an argument about that. Oh, here I go again. That artwork should stand on its own. And I'm not sure that I agree with that. I think context matters. And in an age where so much of art just occupies, like, I'm sure if something is truly like, mind-blowing, I don't know. I ask these questions all the time. Like, if I painted just like Picasso today, would I be successful? Right? Was Picasso because of what he did when he did it? Right? It's like, even though he took his style from, whatever, to other people. So I think the context matters. When I show you, when you walk into a museum, well, it does. We talked about like a cave painting, right?
Right.
Like, I know artists that could achieve that, right? They could run circles around it. I'll go as Alex Pardee or Skinner or someone. They're like, "Hey, you want to do a cave painting?" And it's like, it'd be fucking demons and like claws and blood spurting everywhere and fucking day glow in the dark, blacklight shit. Like, it would be crazy. But why do we look at this cave painting and say like, holy shit, like this guy or this man or woman that we don't know didn't have tools, right? They had to go make their tools, make their pigments, figure out how to draw. No one said like, there's no art class. Like, I'm going to draw a buffalo, and it's like, and then you get all the way to like the Egyptians, and they're like carving stories and histories into stone. Like, I don't know. Did that answer your question? Friday at noon. No, sorry.
Yeah, so Friday at noon online, but in person. It's the pre-show, right. Or not pre-show, but the early show on 5 would be in Vegas, and then all day Saturday, all day Sunday.
You're talking about the actual show. I was talking about the pre-show. Okay, the pre-show, context mattered. Okay, next subject. The actual show is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. November
14th through 16th.
14th through 16th in Las Vegas at the World Market Center.
World Market Center. Giveaway.
Wanna give shit away?
Yeah. So if you guys came in late, anybody who didn't see this, you just to get entered into the giveaway, you just need to comment hashtag DCON25, and that will automatically put you in the giveaway pool. You got about 30 seconds to do that. Hashtag DCON25 if you haven't done it already. This is a 5-figure set from Ron English.
It's a retail of $500. We don't fuck around at DKE. You invite me on the show, I'm going to give away something that's worth $500.
You heard it from the boss. He does not fuck around.
So for all those people who didn't give a shit about what I said and just wanted free toys, well, good for you.
Oh man, nobody would be here for that. Nobody would be here for that. Well, that's exciting, dude. 20 years. Have you been there all 20 years?
Yes.
Wow. All 20 years.
You can see my hair. My hair is gray. Yes, all 20 years. It's kind of fucked up and beautiful.
Dude, but I mean, 20 years for an event like that in something that we all really dig. 20 years is.
I mean, it wasn't always that. Like, it was sort of the redheaded stepchild for quite a while. There's a lot of artists that didn't want to do the show.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I don't want to be seen there, blah, 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 and then it's like, holy shit, I gotta get there. Like everyone needs to be there. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So you guys were talking about other shows. There is a show that was in Chicago called Collected Con. I think they did 1 or 2 years, and they've abandoned Chicago. It's the guys from UVD Toys and Strange Cat. And so they're moving to, since DesignerCon is gone, they're moving to Los Angeles. I think it's in, I don't know. There's the Googles. April or May, I think. So we're going to be doing that show. I don't know what's going to happen. We're just doing it because it's an LA show, and why not support another creative venue in LA now that there's no, LA show for Designer Toys. So we hope that does well.
April does the Snow White, like the kind of like risque Snow White figure.
Did they do the risque Snow White figure? That was the
UVD.
So it's UVD, Urban Vinyl Daily.
Oh, I was talking about Strange Cat.
I think they have sold that. They do make their own toys as well.
I see.
But UVD is the other half of Collected Con. Where's what? Well, the show's at a place called the Bridge, the Bay, it's in a building downtown. Anyway, that's not the point. So, excited for a new show. I'm happy to, spend the money, do the show, and hopefully it builds to something else that, since DCON is gone. I'm thinking, and it's just a note for all the other artists here in the room, if you've never made an exclusive for us, please do get in touch. We're looking to work with new artists all the time. It is a new skill sometimes for people who are just making one-offs to conceptualize something and make an edition, but our edition requirements have gone way down. It used to be 20 pieces. And as you can see, 10 will suffice. And if it's expensive, 5 will do as well. So sometimes that's very helpful. If you get in touch, I'm happy to get you on the phone and describe what we do. Happy to, we're sort of like if I think about what our job is really breaking new artists. So if you feel like you're at the point where like you want to make an addition to something and get it out to the world, we are here on this show. We are on other shows. Like what we're doing is promoting, and that's really the only reason most of these artists sell stuff with us is for the, why give a chunk of your sales to somebody else? Like, what do you get out of it? Like, you can just sell it yourself, right? Well, if you do one edition a year for us, it helps just get the word out, and we talk about you, and I hope that is beneficial. So there's that. but I'm thinking, I'm not sure, but I'm thinking for Collected Con, I might change up the format, like maybe do a themed show. Still noodling around, but maybe it would be more fun if the editions were smaller, somewhere around 5 pieces, and everyone did something on some theme that was, I don't know. Well, Ian's looking at me like, "Hmm." So, and then we have another show in March, and that's going to be GrossCon, also back in Vegas, which is a Garbage Pail Kids show, which I always go to. And I just said, fuck it, this time I'm going to do the show. And so I would like to. GrossCon is part of a larger collectible card game show called PokeCon. But there's one room devoted to just. It's funny because there are all these young kids like buying like Pokemon cards, and then there's all these dudes with like gray hair in this one room buying Garbage Pail Kids. So we're going to be set up there, and I think it would be fun to incorporate this world into that and get, maybe a dozen artists making some Garbage Pail Kid inspired toys. So if you have an idea and you see this, hit me up. We'll talk about it.
Nice. There you go. There's some info for everybody. Hit Dub up, man. You're looking to do an exclusive. Hit him up. Crumbs, how does this work with the giveaway? Does it show you how many people are on the wheel or in the pool, I should say?
In part, I'm sitting over here. I was waiting for a moment of silence because I feel like a big
Sorry.
dummy. But no. It basically took whatever's currently in the chat. So anybody who put the Decon 25 at the beginning of the episode, it did not grab their comments in this either. So if you guys are watching this and you would like to get the giveaway, just chime that in now because B and I know nothing apparently. Otherwise, it'll be between 5 people for that giveaway.
Oh, what? That's weird. That's odd.
So
get the hell out. So you had to sit here and listen to me ramble on for 2 fucking hours to get a chance, but there's only 5 people. That's amazing odds, 20%.
So that's where I'm saying that for whatever reason, when we first hit it at the beginning, it collected those entries. And then when I hit it for any of the new people that joined in, it only grabbed those 5 entries. So now
I deleted all the old ones.
Yeah, but now I'm watching it climb up. So as you guys are all chiming
because everyone's holy shit, like they're typing in like Decon 2025
exactly,
like,
yeah,
as fast as they can.
Right. So we edged you right to the very end, you guys. You had to be here right for the last minute, apparently.
Yeah, if you guys didn't get in Decon 25 now, actually we'll give you a couple minutes on that, but jump in there.
Well, next time I will employ my hypnotic skills and try to put people to sleep and see like, who can like really make it through 2 hours of Dove talking and just the last one standing is like, I'm still awake. I get the figures.
Dude, so your booth that you take out there, I know if you guys have, I think everybody has seen your booth, and dude, it's probably, at least in that aisle, there's so much going on there, man. How much time does it take you to get loaded up and say, okay, I'm going to start packing for Decon now? Is that like a week or 2 in advance, man? There's so much, not only art there, but then like the way that your whole setup is too. I'm assuming that you're taking all that out there, all the like the wire backing that you're clipping everything on. That's all going with you, right?
Not this year. Last year we had a bigger truck and I had more staff and I needed to streamline. So the goal this year, we decided we're going to take a regular van and Ian's laughing at me, that we were going to take a regular van and our setup had to fit in this regular van. And that's it. Because we always take so much product and it's so much work. And last year, let's say if we started setting up on, there's not even prep. Let's just talk about once we arrive. You load in on Thursday and it's 4 people for 6 hours that day or 4 hours, 2 hours the next, let's say 4 people, 6 hours, let's say it's 24 hours of work to get that. We just decided that's too much. So no grid wall this year in the back. We're going to fit everything. So that was the whole idea, is that in these 2 booths, in this van, we need to fit everything that goes in the 2 booths. And that's the most cost-effective way to do it, because when I bring extra people, they have to stay in a hotel for 5 or 6 days. You have to feed people. And so it just had to be me, Ian, and Jenke, and that was sort of our parameters. And then most of what we our job the rest of the year, we always sell this kind of stuff. It's in our store full time, online, but most of our business comes from selling toys, like collections that come in and stuff that we resell. And we happen to be liquidating a warehouse for a designer toy seller that is trying to move. And so we're going to devote one booth this year to just sell vinyl toys. And everything that's like worth $50 is going to be marked at 20, and $100 toys for 50, and other toys for probably about $10, about as cheap as they can go. I don't think I want to bring $5 toys, even though we have.
And that's at your booth this year?
That will be one. We have, so 2 booths will be the normal setup, and then one booth will be, Dove's Crazy Eddie vinyl toy discount extraordinaire. And so that's what Ian was laughing at, because now we are back to a 15-foot truck. So a lot of the work is, so remember, we're putting everything on sale on Friday. So it's very likely that we will sell out of some things. We normally don't sell out of many things. It really takes going to the show. Most editions sometimes take about a year to sell out. Depending, but some of the editions are so small that these 5 and 10 and 15, I expect most of these are going to go. But the hard part, especially like Ian spends a lot of time like having to pull inventory, right? So inventory, if you look out here in the warehouse, there's, let's say, like 10 pallets of toys, right? And each are in file boxes. So you get a file box and it's devoted to one figure, right? Or 2 figures. So they're labeled on the side. So you have to figure out, like, do we want to make space for this on the table? And how many do we pull? Okay, so we're going to take 4 or 5. So then you have to repack into a box 5 figures times 4, may fit 4 in a box. So now you have 4 different kind of figures in one box. And you have to count how many spaces. And it's like, oh, we can fit 100 figures. That's 25 boxes. And then the time is sort of like labeling everything so you know where it's at. And then you start selling, you put it out, and then you have to like find more when people buy stuff. I'm surprised you want to know all this information. It seems very boring to me, but I'm going to continue to talk because, like I said, I like to hear myself talk. Luckily for you. The real pain in the ass is how many days Ian has to spend when we get back playing a game of memory, saying like, oh, we have 2 of these left, and figuring out which box this goes in. And then if you've ever kept any sort of inventory, you realize that as your inventory expands and you start pulling one piece here and one piece here and one piece here as you're selling stuff throughout the year, you still have, I'm just going to use a 10 pallet, let's say you have 5 pallets of stuff, right? You start pulling ones and ones and ones and ones. That 5 pallets does not expand. Decon shows up and then you add another 10 boxes. The only way to get that to compact is you have to go and take these boxes that are not fully filled anymore, and you have to consolidate, and you have to take 5 pallets and start turning it into 4. And that is just, a crazy amount of time. It's not like Amazon where, it's like, here's a pallet of this new stuff. You drop it here, it sells out. And then it's like, oh, a new pallet comes in and goes into that space. This is like nothing replaces anything. So it's this constantly growing and, enlarging and contracting inventory. So keeping it all together is hard.
Yeah, I bet.
So,
all right, Crumsy, it's about that time, man. What do we got, boss?
Threat 30. Much better.
That's better than 5. I mean, not
5,
for the
right?
5. For those 5, they were fucking stoked. They were like, yes! They just went from 20% to 3%.
One of these days we'll figure out how to do this show. Maybe.
Oh man.
Yeah, then you'll be dead. So.
So here we go. This is what it does. I guess we just hit go. That's pretty cool.
I mean, it does tell us who the heck's going on there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Look at that.
I like that.
So
check it out. No. That's amazing. Plastic vomit. Woohoo!
Plastic vomit. There you go, man. You know,
There you
plastic
guys
vomit
go.
has been, dude.
Where's
That is so. For a while, we started calling it the karma wheel because it felt like everybody. Yeah, dude. What a great prize, man.
Dude, where's like the ladies and the confetti and shit and like, you know, the spokesmodels and, you know,
Look, we're only on
you
episode.
won a new
We
car.
haven't
You know,
figured
like,
that out yet.
yeah, sorry.
We figure
guess-
by like maybe the 250 mark, we'll get that. We'll get that
Right.
figured out.
I mean, I used to rip off my shirt and have tassels, but B said no more. So
Wow, that would be amazing.
True. That's all true. But plastic vomit. So, you know, not only you said that they were doing some donation to charity with the figures that they're selling from Decon. They
Yes.
just did the breast cancer Boba Fett, which I believe they racked up something like $960 and donated every penny of that.
That's amazing.
As far as donating stuff, not only to the show, but I've, you know, personally seen them donate toys and money to, you know, just a wide variety of people. They absolutely deserve that, man. Good for them. I'm glad they went to a good home.
Totally.
Good
Very commendable behavior. Sort of a sorry state of affairs that, like, you know, we all have to donate money to take care of other people. Like, society should sort of handle that shit. But you know what? We're not going to talk about that. I think what they do is admirable.
They're actively doing it, and they're very involved, and they care a lot about giving back, man. And that's not too common. So, congrats to them. Bam.
Definitely. And on Friday, November 7th at noon, buy their figure, because that's going to go to charity too. See, I worked that in. See that?
You were ready with it.
It's
all here at my fingertips, just waiting for you.
Dude, let me ask you something.
Here we go.
Do you ever just sit back and quick answer? It can be a yes or no. Dude, you're the boss, right?
Okay.
You got access to everything.
Uh-huh.
Do you ever just sit back and go, damn, I'm pretty lucky, man. I'm pretty lucky. The stuff that comes across your table, there's probably very, very few people out there in this community who have access to the kind of stuff that you do at the frequency that you do. As a collector, man, that's got to be, you know, I know you collect. That's it. There's no real question, really. You can just say yes, because I think we all know it's good.
Am I lucky? Yes. 100%. It's sort of, you know, my standard answer when people say, how are you doing? And then I just say, living the dream. It's sort of like it's sort of 100% true. And it's also, you know, sort of facetious at the same time, right? It's like, you know, what's the dream, whatever. But like, as far as like I'm concerned, yes, I'm very fortunate. I've had, you know, privilege upon privilege, you know, bestowed upon me, and life just keeps getting better. And it's, you know, that's probably not what most people want to hear, and that's not something I say out loud to most people. But yeah, it's, you know, just done stuff. I've done things the hard way. You know, I didn't. I don't know if you want to go into history, but you know, I just like I didn't. I never took the easy road.
Yeah.
If you want to put it that way, you know, it's like I lived at home until I was 28, and then when I moved out, I bought a house. Right. It just, you know, that was not a fun 10 years, like living at home with my mom. Like, that's not an age where you want to, now it's normal, right? Now, like you have to do that. But at that age, all my friends were like moved out.
Yeah.
But they were also working to pay their rent every month. And so at the end of that is nothing to show for it. So, just sort of keenly aware of that kind of stuff. And, I do get to do what I want. Like this, what's happening now, you know, doing decon happens because I think it's important. And if it makes money or not, overall we make money, but not everything we do makes money. And so it's hard to fight the, like you were talking about these artists who like have to figure out, like, is it worth doing if you don't make money? I mean, there's figures that I want made, right? But I don't do them. I don't get behind them, because if I make a figure, if I contact an artist and I have to have something sculpted. Okay, so just backstory, because we need backstory here. For all the people who don't know, all these artists make stuff for us, right? But Ron English, did not make this figure. He signed the card. He did the artwork. He created this character. There's another vinyl toy of this character. But we just took his design and turned it into 3 3/4 inch. And so there's a lot of artists that we work with to do that. That's what we make in-house is if you see a well-known painter, Alex Gross painted this painting that sold for $20,000. He did not paint Boba Fett. Right. So we're making sort of stuff like this for that market. So there's other projects I want to do, but I just feel bad if I make stuff and it just sits in a box, right? And so I do fall victim to that as well. Like, there are market concerns and market factors, and you can make one project that is important to you that doesn't make money, but just do the math, how much a project costs. Like, if you put in $2,000-3,000 into a project, if you do one a month, at the end of the year, it doesn't sell, you have 30-40 grand sitting into it. You do that for 10 years, you have $500,000 in inventory. That happens to people who, like, so that's not feasible. Like, I do okay, but I don't have fuck you money. So there are financial concerns, and it also, like artists out there, it does feel bad when you make something and it doesn't sell. And so it doesn't help when times are tough and people like stuff, but they can't afford to buy it. Like, because it's inexpensive for art, but it's expensive for action figures, right? Super 7 figure, this Killer Bootlegs figure is $20.
Right.
That's on the high end of what action figures that size go for. How much is this? Like, it's $125. So there's other projects I want to do, but sometimes I lose motivation because it just seems like I'm going to put forth all this effort and it's not going to pay off. So I give good advice. I don't always take my advice. So I am susceptible to the same issues.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question?
Yep. 100%.
But yes, I'm very fortunate. I get to do what I want, and I get to sort of wander, but I've always sort of like wandered towards things that I think are good ideas and make money. So I have that freedom, but there's always something underneath that's paying the bills, right? So just recently, if you come out here in our parking lot, there's 2 20-foot containers full of toys that I just bought. I don't know if you saw that on Instagram. Me standing there like an idiot, like with all this stuff, right? So that makes money.
Yeah.
Right. And if I can, if that pays the bills, then I can do other stuff that doesn't always make financial sense. Right. I can sell more, make more money if I put everything for sale online and I don't physically go to Decon. Right. But I still go to Decon because the artists who make us stuff want their stuff out there. And there's another like X factor there. It's sort of being an ambassador for the medium, and people still walk up and like, what is this? So it's like, once you stop putting stuff out there and you just pay attention to your base, it is going to slowly shrink and shrink. Just you have to get new people into it.
Yeah.
For it to grow, because there's a certain number of people that fall out of favor with this. They decide to sell their collections, and then this stuff goes on eBay. If this stuff is not being picked up, then the collectors, the artists releasing stuff, are competing with the stuff that's coming onto eBay, and then everything starts to collapse. So you need new blood all the time to sort of keep the keep everything churning.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's sort of what it takes. How's that for an answer?
Great answer, man.
Not like you're ever going to tell me that it was a shitty answer and I bored you out of tears, but Ian's laughing at me.
Decon sales begin Friday at DKE.com. Get your asses over there and buy
DKETOYS.com.
DKETOYS.com.
I've been trying to get DKE for fucking years.
Well, what's the problem? What's the hold
I don't know. There was a plumber that had it like 20 years ago. I'm like, dude, if you ever want to sell DKE, DKE is also a fraternity, Delta, Kappa, Epsilon, right? I guess they didn't want it. So someone's got it now. And, I get contacted all the time. It's like, hey, do you want to buy this? I'm like, okay, how much? And they're like, well, minimum, bid is $10,000. 3 letters, very hard to come by. It is available.
Follow up and say, are you familiar with Boba Fett?
So that would just be like vanity and ego. There is no real reason to get DKE.com except for, it's not going to help. It's not going to generate penny one, but the cost is huge. Yeah. Did you want to know this?
Yeah. Okay. DKE Toys, Friday, noon. DKEToys.com. Go buy some stuff. If you're in Vegas this weekend, or next weekend, whatever the show is, go there. You will like it. Dude, thank you again for the donation on the prize. That's amazing.
Anytime. Congratulations to Plastic Vomit. This will be in the mail to you when we get back from Decon. And maybe you don't care about it. Maybe you'll raffle it off and raise more money for charity. Oh, sorry. Now I'm like projecting my own shit on you. Maybe you want to keep it. I should keep quiet. Like I'm sort of ruining it.
Oh, man.
All right, guys. Thank you again. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everything you do for the scene. I'll tell you over and over again.
I can't, dude. Because I just can't. I've got this really sensitive rash in my butt, and the moment somebody's lips get anywhere near it, it just burns, and I just can't, dude. Yeah, they're just so nice.
Give you permission to say goodbye.
Okay, see, I missed the first part of that though.
Oh man,
that was a fucking plethora tonight of really good information, man. Anybody who goes back and watches that is gonna get some fucking bangers.
And you know what's funny, dude, is I think we can always really we always speculate about a lot of stuff, right? Like why are certain things going on in the scene, or why are people buying or not buying, or whatever, man. It's all speculation, right? But then you get somebody like Dove, who it's probably, there is some speculation to it too, but it makes a lot of sense. And if there's anybody who's going to have some real hardcore, especially compare and contrast of like where it started off to where it was and now where it is now and kind of where it's going. Who else in the scene are you going to ask that question to and get a legitimate answer that you're going to believe and say, okay, I take that as gospel and that's correct. I believe that.
So, I had to look it up when we were talking about it. And of course, Bliss ended up sending me a link for it as well. But those Addict and Mr. Django Camelbot vinyls, 2005. Wow. My brain went to it like that, man.
Bro, how did he remember that, dude?
Mr. Django, oh yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I think we sold some of those vinyls. I'm just like, no, dude, different guy.
No, absolutely on it. Yeah,
oh, that's nuts. Wow, 20 years ago. That's nuts.
That said, are we letting these yahoos get on with their evening and enjoy the rest of their week until Decon?
We shall. I don't know what we're doing next week, folks. But thanks everybody for tuning in, man. Maybe we'll do that giveaway format again at some point.
We'll nail it next time.
Yeah, it was easy. Cool. Right on.
All
Thanks
right,
for tuning in, everybody. Later, dudes.
Later, dudes.